Once again, Arionne Curry has stepped into the center of attention, and this time it wasn't through a major interview, a public statement, or even a scandalous appearance on television. It happened through something much simpler, something that most people scroll past without a second thought, a social media post. But when Arionne posts anything, the internet doesn't scroll past. It stops, it stares, and it starts digging. Her latest message caught fire almost instantly, with people claiming she threw direct shade at Martell Latisha and possibly Latisha Scott, and the online detectives wasted no time breaking down every single detail, from the timing to the tone to the moment she hit delete. Today, we're diving deep into the storm surrounding Arionne's latest move, the fan theories flooding the timeline, and the complicated web of relationships that make one short post explode into a full-blown storyline. It all began with a single post, simple, short, and subtle, just the way Arionne likes it. Within minutes, screenshots were circulating in group chats. Fans posted it in forums and Facebook groups. People on Twitter started asking each other, "Did you see what Arionne just posted?" Her name began trending almost immediately, and when that happens, people know something is brewing. The thing about Arionne is that she doesn't have to say much. She doesn't usually go on long rants or spill every detail about what she's thinking. Instead, she drops something small, leaves it there long enough for people to notice, and lets the internet do the rest. Even when she pretends it's nothing more than a normal post, fans don't buy it. They automatically assume it carries a message or a hidden meaning. And honestly, given her history, can we blame them? This time was no different. Fans instantly started connecting the dots. Many assumed the post had something to do with Martell Latisha, because at this point it's almost a reflex. If Arionne posts something vague or mysterious, the public immediately ties it back to Martell. Their history, their drama, and the emotional chaos that has stretched over years never really leave people's minds. And because they share a child, their connection is ongoing, whether they like it or not. Even on days when everything seems quiet, one post from Arionne is enough to disrupt the entire piece. Martell Latisha and Arionne Curry's names are practically glued together in internet conversations. Even when Arionne tries to move on, or when Martell appears focused on other things, something always pulls them back into the same conversation. Fans can't help it. For years, their relationship was a public tornado, messy, emotional, shocking, and constantly unfolding in ways that caught people by surprise. People aren't just watching their present, they're remembering years of public ups and downs. Meanwhile, Martell's past with Melody Cherie still looms large over everything. While Martell and Melody haven't been together for a long time, viewers continue to feel the ripple effects of their marriage and divorce. Melody has made it very clear that she's moved on. She's focused on her kids, building her brand, protecting her peace, and living life with a level of positivity that fans admire. But even though Melody chooses silence, people drag her name into drama every time Arionne posts something that even slightly feels shady. Melody doesn't respond, she doesn't involve herself, and she doesn't feed the gossip. Yet somehow she remains a major character in a story she's no longer part of. That's how strong the connection between these three has become. One of the biggest talking points this time wasn't even Arionne's post, but Martell's reaction, or more specifically, his lack of one. Fans know Martell's personality. He's not someone who stays quiet when he feels attacked. If Latisha Scott says something he doesn't like, he responds. If Martell Scott implies something shady, he responds. If anyone questions his character online, he responds. And he doesn't just type a comment, he goes live, he talks for an hour, he explains every detail, and he makes sure the world knows his side. But when Arionne posts something bold, when she throws shade, when she drops a message that clearly points in his direction, suddenly he becomes silent. Completely silent. No clapback, no subtle response, no "let me clear this up real quick" Instagram live. And fans immediately notice this double standard. They start asking real questions. Why doesn't he respond to Arionne the way he responds to everyone else? Why does she get a free pass? What does she know that keeps him quiet? The internet remembers the moments when Arionne hinted at serious things behind the scenes, including that leaked phone call where she suggested Martell was up to things we don't know about. And interestingly, Martell had no reaction to that either. But when Latisha or Marcel said something similar, he went on a full-blown public defense tour. And that is exactly why fans think something deeper is happening that we don't see.
Arionne's relationship with social media is unique. She knows her audience, she knows her power, and she knows exactly how to get people talking without saying much at all. What makes her posts so effective is that she leaves just enough mystery for fans to fill in the blanks themselves. And she uses specific strategies that keep people on their toes. The vague captions, the intentional timing, the subtle emojis, the carefully chosen pictures, and of course, the famous post and delete routine that drives people crazy. Fans understand her pattern by now. She posts something interesting, waits for it to circulate, then deletes it as if it never happened. But by the time she deletes anything, the screenshots have already spread. People have already saved it, shared it, and started discussions. The deletion actually creates even more speculation because fans think, if it wasn't about someone specific, why delete it? So instead of shutting down the conversation, deleting the post intensifies it. And this brings us to Latisha Scott. Even when Latisha is quiet, unbothered, and staying far away from social media drama, her name somehow ends up involved whenever Arionne posts something that fans believe is aimed at Martell. That's how these online conversations work. Once your name is connected to someone at the center of drama, you're automatically part of the storyline. Fans also pay close attention to Latisha's posts, likes, views, captions, everything. If she likes a quote about being unbothered, fans think she's responding to Arionne. If she ignores the situation completely, fans accuse her of being bothered but pretending not to be. If she responds in even the smallest way, fans say she's defensive. No matter what she does, her actions get twisted into a narrative. And that's the frustrating part for someone like Latisha. Staying quiet doesn't get her out of the story. In fact, silence often pulls her deeper into it. Now with Arionne's latest post, viewers are watching Latisha more closely than ever. They're analyzing her silence, they're analyzing her reactions, they're even studying her body language in unrelated posts to see if she's feeling some type of way. It sounds dramatic, but this is exactly how social media culture works today. Melody Cherie has worked hard to separate herself from the chaos of her past, especially where Martell and Arionne are involved. She rarely responds to negativity, rarely entertains rumors, and rarely gives attention to things that don't align with her peace. But the internet simply refuses to let her go. Whenever Arionne posts something that fans believe is aimed at Martell, her name becomes part of the conversation again. People start asking, does Melody know? Is Melody going to say something? Is this shade meant for Melody too? And even though Melody consistently chooses not to engage, fans interpret her silence in different ways. Some say she's unbothered, others say she's protecting her peace. Some believe she knows the truth behind the scenes but chooses not to react publicly. Whatever the real answer is, Melody's silence makes fans even more curious. One of the most fascinating parts of this entire situation is the power of social media. Arionne understands how it works. She knows that one well-timed post can start rumors across multiple platforms. She knows that a deleted post creates even more conversation. She knows that fans will analyze every single detail, no matter how small. And it's not just Arionne who becomes part of the story. Martell's reaction or lack of reaction, Latisha's silence, Melody's peace, Marcel's comments. Even a behavior of cast members who aren't directly involved gets pulled into the drama when fans start forming theories. This entire social circle is so interconnected that one post from one person affects multiple others, whether they want to be involved or not.